Hey, bodeganights. Well, sort of. A couple of months ago at this point, some friends of mine from the faculty room thought it would be cool to record a podcast. And after a couple of months, we finally settled on actually doing it. So what follows is the first episode, or the pilot episode, for a podcast we're calling The Class Record, featuring myself, a teacher named Charlie, a teacher named Val, and a teacher named Ling. Charlie and Ling aren't really used to being on mic, so their volume might be a little bit off, and the truncate silence kind of cut out some of the ends of their sentences when I was editing it out, when I was editing. So you'll just kind of have to excuse us for that. And I'll be giving you guys updates in case this thing actually becomes a thing, right? But in the meantime, just enjoy, I guess.
Hey, welcome out to The Class Record. I'm Joao, I'm the media literacy teacher. I'm here with Charlie, our literature teacher, Ling, our earth science teacher, and Val, the IT teacher. And our objectives for the day,
learning outcomes.
Right, our learning outcomes.
Learning outcomes, if you will.
Discuss the first day of school, or discuss first day things, and
identify the common activities during.
Right, yeah, sure, fine. Identify the common activities and best practices that we have for our first days or our first times. We can put it, an alternate way to put this would be the stuff that. What's his name? Harry Wong doesn't tell you.
Seriously? You really are doing this. Okay, go.
Hi, Mr. Harry Wong.
Shout out.
Is he still alive?
He is still alive, I think.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say, but yun na lang.
So if Harry Wong hears this, hey, what's up? This is your work.
We are honored to be in your presence.
We're here because of you.
So I think we should start with Val, because Val is the person that has the most notes.
I thought you're gonna.
No, he outlined all the talking points.
No. I thought he's gonna say, okay, let's start with a prayer.
No, I was working on the assumption of that the theme today would be first. So I have topics on different firsts, not really on school, but for
so
later
cool.
na lang. But different firsts that you can talk about, or not if you don't want to.
Go. I mean, what's your first talking point there?
No.
First.
This isn't involve any school related things, man.
Yeah, but that's very teacherly of you. You came in prepared. You have your lesson plan ready.
Thank you.
I guess we just go around the table. No? What was your first ever day of school like as a teacher? What was that like?
Well, I remember my first day of school, really as a teacher. It was 10 years ago. I was with grade school students then. And I remember telling myself, oh my God, seriously, I am paid to do this. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. That type of thing. I was so idealistic back then.
Fresh grad.
And then now, in retrospect, oh my God, they're not paying me enough.
Okay.
So we'll just forget that Charlie mentioned that. Even though it is somewhat true.
It is true.
It is true on the salary of a teacher.
For the record, you guys all agreed with me.
Yes.
This is a vocation.
A vocation.
It is,
One of my students approached me the other day, and she just told me, Miss, oh my God, teachers are underpaid. Yeah, we are. So yeah.
Right, so, Ling, how was your first day? I know you started by teaching in college, right?
Yeah, 10-year-olds. But after graduation, the dean, the chairperson, sent me a message and asked me, well, teach, what happened?
You're going to have to move closer to the mic if you want to whisper.
Okay.
And do some ASMR thing.
I didn't want to teach. She didn't want to teach.
My mom forced me to work. So what happened was that
Because you need to pay the bills.
So yeah, I gave it a shot, and the first, since it was a college the environment was quite different from I was exposed to a more.
Well, I would like to assume, no, it's really quite different from my environment. Because imagine your college students acting like grade school students.
And sometimes 17-year-olds, man, come on.
No, they're actually around. I was 20 back then, and then there are students who are younger than me, but there are also those who are
Very
older
close to
than
your
me.
age. Ah, you have
So very
students
close
older
to
than
me.
you.
So what happened was that when
that can
I'm a
happen.
very petite young girl during that time. So when I entered the classroom, where's the teacher? Probably absent because we have a student. The next days.
How did you feel about that? Like when they think of you as the student assistant,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
feel like happy because, oh my god, they think I'm still young?
Flattered.
Or we like, I have to establish
Yes.
dominance
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
I have to mean business.
My young self would think that. I wanted to like be someone in authority that they will respect. But now, if people will like think of me as a student assistant, I will be very happy.
Establish your authority with the third graders.
Yes. The third graders.
So listeners, try to
my
guess
God.
our age.
Yeah.
No.
Well, at least I didn't say like 12, 10, 8 years ago. So they can guess.
They gave you enough. They gave you enough. You gave them enough.
Yeah, but anyway, going back
The number of years ago.
Going back to Sir Charlie's question a while ago. Well, yeah, it was a mixture of a proud me, a young girl who's like, I'm already a teacher. I'm your teacher. Blah blah blah. Some of them are actually my classmates in high school, and then, but at the same time, yeah, you're right. You also have to establish dominance in the classroom because you're young. Who are you to teach us? You're young, you're as old as us. So there were times, especially during the first, it was quite difficult. But eventually, I think the blessing there was that since we are mostly of the same age, I get to jam with them. I know what they feel. It's like a student 3 months or 4 months ago. It was difficult at first, but then I got a lot of fun then.
About Val, dude, you came in from a very, well, I'm not gonna say a corporate background, but like an engineer. You were. This is funny for the people that listen to my podcasts. I used to work for reputable real estate developer, and as it turns out, Val here also used to work for reputable real estate developer.
in a parallel sort of, not universe, but the jobs are parallel. Although I didn't work for the developer, we worked for the developer alongside them.
Yeah.
So that was in property management.
Did you guys meet?
No, I think he left long before
It was only
I joined.
Yeah, maybe
They
like
met here.
the year after or something might have been when you like joined.
So I don't know. I mean, when I was asked if I would want to teach, I said sure. My teachers make it look easy, you know. So if they can do it, I can do it. Yeah. So yeah, I was very optimistic during the first day of class. And to be honest, I don't really remember what I prepared, what I told them. What I do remember were the responses I got from students. I don't know why that stood out, but I guess was more kind of memorable for me. I do remember one of the students asking me, because I'm in a unique situation where I joined the school not at the start of the school year, but in the middle of the school year.
Yeah.
So I joined when the first semester was about to end.
Wait, so you were like brand new when I came in for my teaching demo?
Like I was 1 semester in when you did your teaching demo.
Oh.
So I was like only 4 months ahead of you, 5
Yeah.
months. Yeah. So I joined before the start of the second semester, but at the end of the first semester. So I was asked to proctor a final exam. So in our forms, so it's not really the first day of class, but
First day of class.
First.
Proctor an exam.
exam.
At least you can be sure
Yeah.
that the students are behaving.
And another thing I remember is, getting to know first day of class. Now this was really class na, and I asked my students, so introduce yourselves, tell me your nickname, what you like to be called. I didn't know, I didn't see this coming, but one student said, you can call me anytime. And then that wasn't the first time. That's happened twice actually. It happened another semester, and I don't know. At that time, I didn't know how to respond. What do I do? So I just said, "Okay, but what do you want to be called?" Until they actually gave me their name. So That's it. Just some funny stories, I guess.
We also have a classmate before, and then it was like, for the boys, you can call me. For the girls, you can call me anytime. We're like, okay.
In their head, I'm sure that's funny.
Yeah.
But us teachers listening to those jokes, oh my god, it's cringy.
Worse because I didn't expect it. I was expecting a real... I didn't think that the students would be that funny on the first day.
Air quotes.
As if everyone could see you.
Yeah. How about
Quote
you,
unquote
Joao?
funny.
How about you, Joao? How was your first day?
Oh man, my first day was I lost my voice on the first day. Or
What
like
did
I
you
was
do during the first day? Why didn't you lose your voice?
He
Because-
does best.
it's so some of my most like formative teachers from high school were the loudest ones. Like they were the ones that you could hear from the second from like the
The back row.
yeah
Even
the
outside.
ones, like the ones that you could hear on the fourth floor from the ground floor. You know?
Okay.
So just like
Asian teachers.
like Val, right? Going by what our teachers did in the past. So show up and like walk in, just guns a blazing, voice really loud, make sure that the people behind the back can hear me. And the thing with our first day of school is they fill out our schedule, right? It isn't like you have 2 periods today and then you're done. It's like half your day is like contact with the kids. So after like the 3rd period, it was just push. But weird, like similar to Charlie. It was like, yeah, this feels right.
I could get used to this.
Yeah.
Because I'm not yet that tired.
But then
Losing my voice is worth it.
yeah. I mean, admittedly, I still sort of have that feeling. I don't know, like first and second period, right? When I'm not that tired.
Wait, just to make it clear, we're not yet tired of teaching, right?
And we're actually good teachers. Just
Yes.
want to make that clear also.
It's just we're physical human beings with energy requirements.
True.
Right, speaking of firsts, right? We're recording this on a Monday, and Monday is first day of the school week, and easily the worst day for my schedule because I have
7th period.
I have like 4 periods.
Uh-huh.
Right, and while everybody else at 3:30 is like, all right, let's head back to the faculty room and wait for the kids to bring the papers that they're all submitting late. I'm in class until 4:30 on Mondays. I really hate that.
That's the worst.
And I see all 4 classes today, pa. So, but it's I forgot who asked me about the being tired of a teacher. It's that sort of tired that you feel good that you're tired.
True.
It isn't a tired like, oh my god, I just helped somebody make 20 million pesos.
Yeah.
What did I get from it? Food, Like it's a fulfilling tired, I guess. And that was the thing that I felt on the first day, and that's the thing that I hold on to.
It's a jab at the corporate.
Yeah, exactly. Jab at the corporate world.
Yeah, and I think if you are able to sustain that type of feeling, you're set.
And so, is this your for Charlie and Val? This is your first teaching job, right?
Yes, that's true. First teaching job for me.
Also, you.
Yeah, Charlie's been teaching.
First teaching job.
Charlie's first
Yes.
teaching job, but then he's been here for like 10 years.
Yeah, that's it.
You're right, because I graduated March, and then I started
June.
teaching June.
June, yeah.
And what's really good, and I think I always tell this to anyone who would listen, before my name was called to march and get my diploma,
You already had
I got the text. At least I was like, I think 2 candidates away. And then I got the text from the principal that I am officially in the school that we are here now.
See?
Reputable educational
So I was like,
institution.
very smart when I got my diploma because, oh my god, I already have a job.
Diba? Before the diploma, a job.
Yes.
Ah,
But yeah,
that's definitely something.
that was the idealist.
It was really meant for you. being
Yeah,
a
but what is so
teacher.
funny though is that for the information of everyone, I taught grade school students for 6 years, and then I was transferred to senior high when the K-12 program in the Philippines was implemented. And so it really is a full circle moment with me, because those students that I was teaching in grade 5 in grade school, they're the senior high students that I have now.
Yeah.
And I still see them, I know this is very cliche, but I still see them as those students that I had before. So I had the tendency on my first year here in the senior high, I had the tendency to baby them, to smother them with and making sure that they are guided all throughout. And I remember there's this one student who told me, "Sir, just stop. We are no longer your grade school kids before. We are now grade 11 students. We're 17, we're 18. We can manage. Chill." That was also like a wake-up moment for me, to try and change the ways and means, that I do my thing and I do my teaching. And I like that. I like that there was this one student who was brave enough to tell me, "Sir, we respect you. You were our teacher before, but you need to change."
So you've had 2 first days,
Yes.
technically. And so what was the first day in senior high school like?
Well, because everything is new at that time, and I was really one of the pioneer teachers in the senior high, making sure that everything is really moving. I did not really put a lot of thought with my interaction with the students. It was really more on making sure that the school will function for the entire day, that our programs, the things that we are giving the students are enough, at least for that day. So yeah, it was quite hectic. It was not really, it's no longer more about me, but more about, what we are doing to make sure that the students will not feel that we are not ready. Because in a way we were, just to be sure.
That's what made you, Val, jump into the teaching profession, coming from a fairly, shall we say, financially rewarding work as a civil engineer.
Actually, I was managing a condominium, but that job was very demanding. I mean, more demanding than I would have anticipated. It's
What, more demanding than this? Because
guess
this is pretty freaking demanding.
Is there a job more demanding than ours?
no, I mean,
I would like to know.
it gets different context, no? But
Yeah.
because since the building operates and is occupied by people 24 hours a day, I'm expected to be
So
So
you're
if
on
they have
call.
complaints,
call.
also they go to you.
no, like if something goes wrong,
You have to
like
be
something
always
breaks
on
down.
call.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Because
I don't want to be on call.
it happened one time that one of the pumps kept pumping, and then the pump room was flooded. You had to go there in the middle of the night to oversee everything. It's a different kind of demanding, especially that I am accountable for for that. So eventually I decided some things are not
This
worth
is not worth the stress.
Some things are not worth it. So I was actually in between jobs when I got the message from our HR director, who was my teacher before. Kind of at the right time, I guess, because I was in between jobs, and asked me, "Would you like to teach? We just opened senior high. We're looking for a science teacher." So I like science. I am an engineering graduate after all, and I do enjoy science. So I was uncommitted at the time, like I said, just in between jobs. So sure, I will apply. I will demo. If I'm good enough, maybe I'll go for it. Like if they accept me for what I am, because I have no teaching experience, and they did. So oh my God, I'm in. So right, so okay, let's do this. So that was really a good door that opened for me, because I could expand my experience and do something I didn't think I would be doing, but it's ultimately, obviously, very fulfilling. Truth be told, I'm earning less now than many years ago, but it's different. I'm sure you know what I mean. The feeling at the end of the day is different.
And you know what? Just a little trivia for the listeners. When Val entered the school, he was assigned to be my co-advisor.
Yeah.
So we were together. Yum's class, let's go.
Wait, a science teacher, science teacher, and you were assigned to be the partner teacher for the humanities section.
class. It was more of a logistical thing, I guess, because the partner teacher eventually left.
There were very few teachers during that time, and the population was also
And I think
smaller than what we have now.
the one that he replaced, the teacher that he replaced, was my partner teacher before.
So it's kind of like you're just filling in the void left behind. So
But like going back to what Sir Val mentioned, teaching gives you a different. I used to teach college, and then I stopped for a while. But then, even though there are other opportunities, other possibilities, I can no longer imagine myself not teaching. So
Pull you back in.
and who would imagine? I'm already a
Scarface.
senior high teacher. But I'm enjoying it. I'm actually very happy.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing something else. Like, students really are part of my life now, and doing things without.
Just a funny story. Sir Charlie technically journeyed with the kids, with our students, and there was this time we were walking.
Thank you for making me feel so old, by the way.
No, this is like
Journey with the
let's just say 5 years, 6 years. Okay, so we were walking towards this event, and then there's this junior high, and she stopped. And she was like, "Oh my God, I love you, sir!" Instead of saying good afternoon or good morning. She was just starstruck, and she was like, "I love you, sir." I was like, "Okay." We're laughing when we're walking.
And you know what? Those times wherein you get that split-second affirmation of what you're doing, it makes it all worth it.
It reminds me of something that Miss Nancy mentioned during one of her talks. Like, for a very specific group of people in the city, you are a celebrity.
Yeah.
True. That is true.
Like, Miss Nancy, there was one night that we were having dinner, and Miss Nancy's been here forever.
Older than me.
If I'm not mistaken, almost approaching 20, I guess.
Maybe. She's an institution here.
Yeah.
Approaching 20 years.
I have students that are actually doctors now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
She was my teacher.
Yeah, she was. I would have been like her first batch that she taught if I were a student here in
If
high
you studied
school.
here, right?
If I had studied here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Nancy.
Hi, miss.
We love you.
So
Thanks for listening.
I remember this one night we were having dinner, and somebody that I had gone to college with was eating in the same restaurant. So I told Miss Nancy, "That's so and so," or like, "You should know that guy. He was a student here in year redacted." And she just looks at me and is like, "Who is that? Who is that?" So I mentioned the guy's name, and she's like, "Oh, yeah. And then when I talked to the guy after that, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's Miss Nancy. She was a teacher when I was in high school." And like, I wonder what that feels like, right? Having an entire generation of people knowing you, and you knowing about like a fourth of them.
Wait.
Oh no, bitaw. In a few years.
When we
Yeah.
I don't want to admit that this is the aim, but there are some students who I had way in the past, and then they just come to me and ask me, "Sir, do you still remember me?" And then of course you will say, "Yes, oh yeah, I remember you." And then they'll say, "What's my name?" And
That's my biggest
for the life of me, I could not remember right there and then what is the name of the student.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's when your brains tend to shut down.
Oh, I know, right?
like even
Then
now,
when your memory betrays you.
Even now, like students that I see in the hallway, like I blank on their names exactly at that moment.
Yeah, they were just my students last semester.
And then my eyes automatically go to the ID. But then there are some students who are also very quick at hiding their IDs. So like, come on, give me a break.
Why does he have
You
to
have to be
ask?
very creative.
Do I have to prove it?
Extracting their names.
First letter. And then you try to piece them out.
So if that's the case, what do you think? Would it be better if we just said, "No, sorry," that you don't remember?
There are times if I could not really find a way out, I tell the student,
No,
like,
sorry,
I forgot your name, but I never forget how you made me feel in that classroom.
Well, we actually had a Spanish teacher that a Spanish teacher in college that was very like straightforward and upfront about it, because we asked him in Spanish, like, "Do you remember me?" And he was like, "No."
I'm not gonna lie, child. I have like 10,000 students.
Right? But then the thing is, he sort of prepped us for it, like how to construct that sort of sentence in Spanish. The way that he illustrated it to us was by saying, there was one time I was walking around in the mall, and a former student asked me, "Do you know me?" And I said, "No, I don't know you." A couple of years later, I saw that Spanish teacher and I asked him, "Do you know me?" He's like, "No, I don't know you."
That is his creative way of telling us.
It's all coming back.
The creative way of telling you guys, don't dare ask me when we see
But
each
you
other
know
in the
what?
mall.
Kidding aside, after you say, "I'm sorry, I don't know," or "I'm sorry, I forgot," and then you see the face of the child just really closing, and then you know that he's heartbroken. Oh, I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling at all.
But then, eventually, they learn. Like, I don't remember the names of some of my teachers from college.
That's true.
Like, see, Dr. What's her face, right?
Yeah.
That's true. And
that
I'm sure we have been that in their own conversations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. What's his name from high school?
The one who's like a very loud voice. Yeah, the one who
always swears.
No, because like especially when you're in college, students are very fond of doing that. When they go to the department, they're like, can you submit this to who is your teacher? The one who is blah 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 blah, blah. And they'll just start describing the teacher.
Names. That's true.
Yeah, so like I'm pretty sure. But then high school is different though. Like high school teachers are people that are sort of burned in my memory.
I
Right, because we're with them for
Longer.
longer, I guess.
yeah.
And during a more formative time where our brains are more malleable
Our
and stuff.
relationship, I guess, is more personal with our high school teachers compared to the college teachers. After a sem, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's more transactional than college.
Yeah. True. Well, here, even though they're not in our class, they're still our students in a way, right? So it's...
And those students who were never under us, but we know the name, they're like when you address them with their own names, you can just see the spark in their eyes. Oh my God, sir, so he knows me.
Yeah.
It was that time I felt really bad because he wasn't our student. We were teaching the 11th grade. Guy was in the 12th grade. We were lining up at a bookstore.
Yeah.
And the dude's mom was making conversation or something, and then the student was
With
like,
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the student was like, "Oh, that's
Not my teacher.
yeah, that's Sir Joao and Miss Ling," and you're like, "Oh, how do we do this? How did we resolve that?"
Too bad we didn't meet last year, but it's nice to meet you now. I'm glad we...
So what else do you have in your notes, Val?
Oh, are we done with like the school stuff?
I just want to share this also because it's also like one of the first that I had experienced just quite recently. A student who already graduated 2 years ago messaged me and said, "Sir, I want to make some life altering and I want your advice. Maybe she wants my opinion." And so I told her, we can chat, you can tell me, but sir, this conversation has to be in person. And so I met with this student. And when we did, by the way, this student is in one of the medical schools in the city, and she's has a high point GPA, STEM student. So that's really how her life is going to go.
All right.
And then she said, "Sir, I'm dropping everything, like all her subjects. I don't want to continue." She's physical therapy.
Okay.
So like she said, I'm dropping everything. I don't want to do this anymore. I know I can pass all the subjects. It's quite easy, but I don't want it. I don't like it. I'm not happy anymore. And so I asked her, "So what is it really that you want?" And her eyes sparkled and she said, "Sir, I want a teacher." And I was like, "Welcome to the tribe." "Sir, this is not giving me joy anymore." And I always remember going back in high school when I have the chance to tutor our adopted partner communities.
That's amazing.
It really gives me joy, and so I wanted to be a teacher. So she was actually really just asking me on how can she like move her life so that she will be able to follow that pathway to becoming a teacher. And so I was more than happy to give her all the advice that she needs. And now I'm actually waiting for her message for the results of the entrance exam. She's transferring to this highly reputable education school also. It's really meant for teachers.
We should revisit that like in a later episode if we get to record.
I know. Ask me again after.
Yeah, we ask you again.
Just like for example, another common misconception.
We'll ask you again.
We'll have her on the show.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
why not?
We totally have her on the show. Yeah, we mentioned you in our first episode.
Yeah, go listen.
Yeah, true. But since you were talking already about this student like dropping everything, taking another path, I think a common
That's me, huh? That happened to me.
like
I was sitting at the back of our. Anyway, go on.
but okay, like a common misconception is that teachers like failing students. It's really heartbreaking when you have to fail a student. You know, especially those students who you see striving hard, but.
But I also would like to believe also that failing is transformative.
Yes.
Sometimes we need to do it for their
True.
sake. For their sake.
Yeah. The first time you had to fail a student, how did that feel? What was the story there? There's a story there.
I can distinctly remember what happened. There's a student, and then he approached me, Miss, why did I fail? Blah blah blah. At first, he was like very, I don't want to say angry, but he was like, why do I get this grade? I don't deserve it. So I have to explain. This is what happened. You keep missing classes. You get these grades during the test. Blah blah blah. And it's such a nice feeling when eventually a student admitted, and then he told me na, thank you for clarifying everything. I will try my best. So yeah, Sir Charlie was right that it can be something formative. It can be, you can't just pass everyone if you know that they'll end up
Failing in life later.
that's the better.
I think that's what we all stand for. We would rather fail you in our classroom than fail in life later on. That's a really good. It should be a slogan.
What about you, Val? Well, how was the first time you ever had to
fail.
fail a student? Yeah.
Well, I've had a student who failed in the midterm, and then she expected it. I mean, she knows. I mean, she was doing poorly. She had difficulty, and then I couldn't, much as I'd help her, she couldn't do it on her own. And then, so during the midterm, she really failed, like a grade below the failing. But she was able to turn it around by the semester. So I don't have a failure for the semester though. So
I think that's not really a problem if the student is also very much aware of her standing in the class.
Yeah.
That she knows and maybe expects that she will fail. I think that's not really a problem. The problem is when the student could not accept that he or she failed in your class, and then sometimes, I know, maybe because of the failing grade, they tend to be very emotional at the time.
And that's when the teacher.
That's that was rough. That was rough. My first ever quarter here, I had to fail a student for not, and it wasn't like the student failed because they failed like the tests and stuff. It was just because they didn't submit.
non-compliance. Huh?
Yeah, it was just like a straight non-compliance failure, and that kind of hit me quite hard. I was like, wait, am I not important enough that you, or is my, am I not?
Disregarded.
That's not something that happens with first-time teachers.
Yeah.
It's like you start asking the question, am I not important enough? And you can't like separate yourself from your class. Like, yeah, which is why I'm kind of glad that you guys pulled me out of the class that I was teaching before and put me
In this new subject,
in
you really like.
media literacy, right? But yeah, like is it not important enough to you that you didn't submit something fairly simple and straightforward? And that was formative as well for me.
What I will share with you is not my first time failing, but this is a failure of a student really broke my heart. It's because of me and my failing not able to graduate. It's because of one subject. But I really have to, because all things considered, that's the only way to make him realize that he is not yet ready, and it is manifested by absences, it's manifested by his work. It is very much, I don't know, falling short of my standards. But what I like about it was that, he wasn't able to graduate, he wasn't able to march with his batchmates, so he had to go through summer school. I was still the teacher for that subject. And so we saw each other again, which should not be, I know it should not be, but I think there's no other teacher who can teach that subject. So I was the one handling it. And we got to talk. I like it because I was able to process him properly and made him really understand why it has to happen. And so he understood, and now, for a lack of a better word, we're good friends.
I remember this child. I think I remember this child.
Yeah.
I don't. Never mind.
I am the one who. I was her
Who taught the
teacher
other class.
for another
For the other
subject.
class, okay.
Also during summer.
I think so, because we see each other in the library. Oh, I'm done. You
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's you, and
Give us a shout out.
thanks for listening. I guess I'd like to add one of my first eye openers. It's happened like in my first few weeks. The class I was teaching, they were having difficulty with my subject. My first course here was
The first subject here was physics, right?
physical science, science, which is both physics and chemistry.
Oh, okay.
And then the students were having a hard time with it. They were not the STEM strand, so I was not surprised. So science is really not their thing. They avoided the STEM strand. So and me being a student who does well in STEM, and myself being doing well in school, took me a while to understand why they were not as into it as I was.
Full of overachievers.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, like I was asking them.
Made it through college.
I was asking them now, we have a test. I gave you examples. We have many examples. We gave you activities. Did you study those activities? I mean, basically, we did what we did. I did my best to prepare them for the test. And then, eventually, just one of them probably got annoyed while I was ranting. Told me, it's okay, sir. I mean, some of us, I mean, not all of them, because some of them do really well. Some of us are really. This is how some of us really do in school. We're not all like that. What he meant by that is we can't all be like someone like you.
True.
And that really hit me. Like I am imposing my idea of a student based on myself onto them, which is not fair to them. And I remember that. It really took me.
That is a realization that really goes with experience. Because more and more you spend time in the classroom, more and more you realize that it's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
It's about the student.
I'm glad that happened in the first few weeks. Like that was a period before lunch. I really needed to sit down during lunch.
Did you eat?
While eating, yeah.
Yeah, just ruminating.
I really needed to take
Relish.
take the lunch to put myself back together.
Is required. Because you have to remember, it's a job we're in. Well, there are people who get it instantly, but there are also people that requires more understanding. It might be difficult to love them at times.
No, I mean it's all true.
You have to give your all, even though sometimes it might seem like it's not.
That's the whole. But then I guess this is what sort of differentiates us in the trenches here from like a professor in college, in like sort of the truest sense of the word, right? Like not instructor one in college, but like those people that are tenured and have their PhDs and have been there for like 20 years or whatever. Like those guys can afford to make it about them because they've sort of added to the body of knowledge. They can afford to be the sage on this stage every now and then, if I may sort of use that. But with us here, we really do have to sort of take a step back, no? We really have to be like the guide on the side. Is that the bell? That's the
Is
word.
it dismissal time?
Dismissal, is it?
Is it dismissal?
Is this a 40-hour class?
40
minute?
minutes.
40 minute class.
I'm gonna be truncating the silences, so
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be a little bit quicker.
Dismissal time?
Yay!
Alright, we good?
Hey! I thought we are going to talk about like
Anything?
Anything?
So is that for dismissal, the
Yeah.
other stuff, or
Yeah, man.
okay?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. 10
So
minutes. How was
class
your day?
dismissed.
Class dismissed?
Alright, class dismissed.
Class
How do you guys dismiss your class, by the way?
Well,
And with a prayer.
Yeah.
You're like because I know some people say you are dismissed. Like, okay, cool.
no, I don't say that.
I say, are we
I
good?
just say goodbye.
Okay.
Me
Yeah.
too. Either I say goodbye or see you
say-
later.
But after
Or
making sure that there are no more
see you
questions
next
about
time.
what we're
Yeah.
talking about that
I
time.
say thank you and goodbye, and I'll see you next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Usually like
If it's a weekend, happy weekend. But it's a Monday today. So we're now dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
That means we can move on to other subjects.
How was your day? My classes are Monday is supposed to be the day that I get to see if all of my classes are on the same page, and all four of them are in vastly different parts.
Wait.
That's not good.
I just to give it.
Yeah, because they came from retreats.
Yeah.
Yes.
So some of them have
The retreats.
some
really,
of them are behind, some of them are ahead.
But you're teaching the same strand for
Yeah.
Yeah, the retreats really messes it up.
And like
I noticed that.
and those days that we have to
We're entering the
adjust.
phase.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
it's like we have to like adjust the schedule. And some days that we have like 30-minute periods instead of the usual hour-long periods. So like that really screwed it up for me. Monday is catch-up day.
You guys are still talking about school. I want to talk about Mulan.
I haven't seen it though.
It's opening March 23, the final trailer.
That soon?
Yeah.
March
wanted it
23
to
for
The
be
the
final
trailer.
trailer just dropped
I wanted
earlier.
it to be a musical thing.
I know. I was
really
disappointed
want-
with that. I really want to hear their version of
Mulan
I'll Make a
songs
Man
are
Out of
really
You.
good.
Right?
So
If
I'll
not
just
the best.
look for it here and play it on mute.
Play it.
So I know.
It's really action-packed. I think they
So
would
I know
really
what
want to
we're talking
establish
about.
that this is like Kung Fu movie or...
What's the Google
like-
search?
Sorry, Kung Fu. Is it something racist? No.
No.
Just checking.
What's the
I don't think
YouTube
so.
trailer? YouTube term. Super Bowl trailer.
Yeah, it's really just the final trailer of
Mulan final trailer.
And then if
Mulan.
it's like uploaded a few hours ago,
No,
that's
it's
it.
the trailer is either one, please do not expect anything that is beyond what you're seeing, or second, they're just making sure that our expectations.
Or they're managing, not necessarily making sure the expectations are low, but sort of managing the expectations, right? Like,
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing though. Like there are some part of the lyrics in that particular scene that you know that particular song should be sung. They incorporated it in their dialogues.
oh, so like, I'll make a man out of you.
Yes, something like that, but in a more creative way.
Okay.
And it's really actually good.
Who knows? There might be a song after that.
And then the
Bollywood
reflection song has been like orchestrated and really arranged in a way that it makes you feel those moments.
Or maybe
I love it. I'm
or maybe-
actually excited.
Maybe the viewers are part of the Broadway thing. So they say, "I make a man out of you." That's the cue that everyone's gonna sing. Diba?
What's it?
Is Mushu still in the movie?
musings from teachers.
Is Mushu still in the movie?
No.
Mushu. Wushu.
No. There's no dragon.
Mushu.
There's a witch.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
There's a witch.
It's not loading though, so.
But it's very funny because I feel like the role of the witch there, I don't know if she's really a villain, but the role of the witch there is to make Mulan realize that she's a new character. She's a new character in the.
Okay.
She's the partner of the Huns. That's why they always like are able to conquer kingdoms, something like that. She was like telling Mulan in one of the scenes in the new trailer. She was telling Mulan, "Do you really want to die acting the person that you are not?" Something like that. And then after she delivered that dialogue, she turned into a bird. And then I was like, "You're the one to talk? Look at you transforming into a bird."
So the witch just from the door.
Yeah, the witch can transform herself into a bird. Sorry.
Maybe I should watch this trailer.
Like, I just
This
found
one
that so funny.
9 hours ago. The one posted 9 hours ago.
I'm
Wait,
actually.
I'll turn off the. How do I
Sound. Just pause it.
Yeah.
Close the gates.
It's all action scenes.
Okay.
Running
We'd
commentary.
like to walk you through it. Oh, so that's the witch. Ooh, with her powers of attacking soldiers.
There's a witch. Oh yeah.
And then
I remember.
Disney logo. Rice terraces. Rice terraces.
It's in Shaman, China.
Farm setting. Guy with a sword, waving it around. Mulan's family.
Mulan crying.
Okay. Getting her father's sword, I assume. Practicing. Putting on the soldier garb.
With a horse.
Ninjas. Ninjas, yeah.
In China.
Disney logo again.
Ninjas.
More ninjas.
You know,
I like that part when her mom said that Mulan will be killed in battle. And then the dad replied, "If I will expose Mulan, she will be killed by our own."
So this better be the I'll make a man out of you montage.
Let's get down.
The horse.
yeah, I'm a really big fan.
March 27.
Oh, yeah, I hope the avalanche scene will be there. Oh, there's the avalanche scene. Nice.
Is this the one you watched earlier?
Spoilers. Oh, bird.
There, she turns into a bird.
There, I think that's the dialogue when they were like,
But he's a
attacking
guy
each
in the
other.
anime, right? Version the.
This is a new character.
Okay. But there was a witch, right?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Afraid not.
So like,
Last time.
You watch the pirated version.
Censored.
Disney. Mulan.
I really like that whole, for lack of a better term, like kung fu movie,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Chinese kung fu movies are great.
But like not the what's it? Like what was that movie about the founding of China? That was essentially a propaganda piece, but it looked beautiful.
Is this a
Kung Fu
popular
Panda.
movie?
Yeah, it had like it had 4 colors as their sort of motif or whatever.
Was Jet Li in it?
Isn't Jet Li the emperor?
I say
that's
that.
Jet Li. I think. Oh no, is he still alive? Jet Li, or he's dead?
I don't know. He's alive.
Is he? Wait, let me just look up
The Chinese movie.
Yeah, that movie.
Chinese movie
that-
talking about.
Most generic search term on Google ever. Kung Fu movie. Okay.
I'll
getting, like, a lot
Google
of
if
Jackie
Jet
Chan.
Li's still alive.
All right.
I'm sure he's
I'll
still
ask
alive.
Mr. Google. Is Jet Li alive? Is Jet Li still
Kung
alive?
Fu Panda.
I feel like Jet Li is the emperor in Mulan.
In the new movie.
In the new movie.
His-
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No.
Once Upon a Time in China? Is that even a movie? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is really nice. though.
Filmography.
Right.
I get that.
But it was really, I know, very clear that it's Brad Pitt, not Leo, in that film.
Hero.
Ah,
Hero
yeah,
is-
that's a Jet Li movie.
I really like that movie,
That's a Jet Li movie, yeah.
but it's like I don't know. Looking at the Mulan trailer, it feels like a Disney-fied version of that.
Of Hero.
I was right.
Yeah, or
Jet Li's
not-
the emperor.
The Emperor
I wasn't
of
being
China.
racist. I know it's Chuck.
Donnie Yen is in.
Oh,
Donnie Yen is in
there?
Mulan.
Oh,
He is Commander.
I don't want to comment because
You would like to exclude yourself from this narrative?
yes.
Ip Man is in the movie. The blind guy in Rogue One. Rogue. The blind. Yeah, the blind.
yeah. I'm strong with
We
the Force.
thought was
The
a
Force is
Jedi,
with
but
me,
not a
dude.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Not Jedi. You know.
Well, that's something that I've been doing a lot of like study on. The like Star Wars and the music of Star Wars.
I mean, the music of John Williams.
Yeah, the music of John Williams is fine.
He's
music.
done
true.
all of them except for probably Rogue One and
Solo? Did he do
Yeah.
Solo?
I don't think so, but he did the main movies. But the Mandalorian score is really nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah, true.
We were playing it on a.
It's on loop for 16 hours.
like you know,
16 hours.
like you know, the maximum length of video on YouTube is 10 hours, right? So there was this one dude that
Uploaded the soundtrack.
the Mandalorian theme on
Repeat.
for like 10 hours, right? And there was a day that I just like played it for the whole 10 hours.
Yeah. And then after that, we play the same song, but
There's a really cool arrangement of it with like guitars and stuff.
By I think his name is Ludwig Göransson. Did you read the credits? I think like I look at the credits because of the artwork,
Yeah,
and I think that's his name, Ludwig something.
yeah.
I hope I got that right. Ludwig Göransson.
If you're listening, shout out.
We
Yeah,
like your
one of the-
music. Keep it up.
You have one of the most amazing. Sorry to bring it back to whoa.
if you're listening,
Yeah, let's bring it back to like Hero. We were saying.
No, I mean, sorry for bringing it back to work, but talking about how music can convey information. It's a spaghetti western in space, and we get the spaghetti western part from the music more than we get it from the visuals, I think. Anyway, I really like Hero, but Mulan looks kind of like a Disney-fied version of that, and I'm not sure that it's gonna feel like a Disney, right? It's like Disney is like fast food to me. Like it's good,
It's good.
it's good, but it's not.
It's fast.
It's like KFC, you know.
Yeah, but it's not like it isn't It doesn't feel substantial.
A lot of fat,
Yeah,
cooking oil.
I don't know. It's
Looks like I'm gonna be watching it alone then.
It's good, but it doesn't feel satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Marvel movies.
Are we
Like,
still
it's
talking
still-
about Mulan? Sorry, I got
Or maybe because
distracted.
Disney doesn't really take risks. Is that what you're
Yes.
trying to get at?
Yes, but then the thing about this particular Mulan movie is it looks like they're actually going to take a risk. But it looks like that risk is going to alienate a whole lot of the people that grew
Fair
up
point.
with all of the songs.
Fair point, yeah.
But when they dropped their first trailer, a lot also of those fans were saying they're going to boycott the film because
Of no songs.
because of the songs were like no longer there or something. They were actually convinced, and now they want to watch.
Because if it's a straight up kung fu movie, like in the vein of sort of Crouching Tiger or Hero, like I'd be into that.
Maybe I think you are looking for a more masculine feel of the film, but it's Disney, so no, it's not going to be too masculine for sure.
Because I
It's going to be
remember,
hard.
because I remember that was one of the problems with the remake of The Lion King. It was practically
The same,
bit
frame by
bit.
frame, diba?
Yeah, even frame by frame
Yeah.
and story beat by story beat,
Yeah.
the same. Which is fine, I mean, because I love the Lion King, but I get it. I mean, it's exactly the same. There's nothing.
There's nothing new.
There's nothing new.
Right. There was they tried to do that with Psycho, right? Somebody tried to do that with Psycho.
Like the horror Hitchcock film.
Yeah, like the Hitchcock film. Somebody tried to make a shot-for-shot remake of it, and it didn't quite work.
Was this a long time ago? I don't remember this.
And it was like in the 90s or
The
something.
90s, so.
Maybe other.
I haven't even seen the original. I know of it because of its cultural significance, and people
Okay.
talk about it, but I haven't
When
seen
is
it.
released?
Mulan, March
should watch these
27.
So,
27?
next, so we really have to watch it and then.
And then we'll come back and talk about it at dismissal.
So we review
So
Mulan
there's-
on the next episode.
Oh yeah, let's
The
do
next
that.
episode?
Let's do movie reviews or TV
Yeah.
series reviews.
Well, let's not assume that March is going to be the next episode. We can have a next episode,
Next week, maybe.
True.
or whenever we find time. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
What cultural touchstones are going to happen within February that we can talk about
The Chinese.
for our next episode?
Next episode, we should get like more science teachers on to talk about
About the coronavirus,
I'm gonna talk about that. in
global
class.
warming, climate change.
So some kids
Seriously.
from grade 11 are going to discussion
Oh.
about coronavirus.
Connecting about the coronavirus thingy, we have, or at least I have. No, I think Val, it was under you also. A student who also graduated 2 years ago is
Yeah.
now an immigration officer in Australia.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was like telling him, how are you in the coronavirus attack there? And it's like, just like the Philippines, like people are so into buying a lot of, but then I don't think they
I have
I
no
think
idea.
they.
have already. Anyway, but he said nah, it's very calm there though.
Are they?
No
They-
issues.
Yeah, because he greets not greets, but like he works with the people traveling.
Yeah,
Because
he's
he's
in the
an
front
immigration.
line, yeah.
Novel coronavirus.
Oh well,
In a few months, it's not going to be so novel.
But you know, like
it's going to be a Pulitzer.
I was